everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maddie. I'm a K-5 STEM teacher and ed tech coach in Los Angeles. I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and today's video is all about Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a video discussion platform that's great for amplifying student voice. You can use Flipgrid with preschoolers, you can use Flipgrid with high schoolers, with college students, so it's a really great versatile tool that works for students of all ages. Today's video is very much a beginner's tutorial to Flipgrid, so without further ado, let's get started. So right now we're looking at the Flipgrid website. So to get here, I just opened up an internet browser and I typed in flipgrid.com, and this is the Flipgrid homepage. In the top right hand corner, you'll see that there are two buttons that we're going to look at: Educator Sign Up and Login. If you're brand new to Flipgrid, you're going to want to click on the button that says Educator Sign Up. And if you already have a Flipgrid account, just like I do, you'll want to click on this button here that says Login. Now there are three different ways that you could log into your Flipgrid account. If you logged in with Google when you created your account, you'll want to click on this button that says Google Login. If you logged in with Microsoft, you'll want to click this option that says Microsoft Login. And then lastly, if you signed up for an account with an email and a password, you'd click this button here to log in. I logged in with Google, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Google Login. So I'm all logged into my Flipgrid account here. You'll see that I have this welcome message. It says, "Welcome to Flipgrid. Let's get your first discussion created and started. First, create a group. Second, add discussion topics. Third, share the join code." So basically what Flipgrid is doing is they're outlining the 3 steps that you need to take in order to get started with Flipgrid. So the very first step here that says create a group, that step is all about creating a class for your students. So that's going to be a digital space where your students can have their Flipgrid discussion. Then the second option, discussion topics. This one is basically where students are actually going to be able to record their videos. So I like to think of Flipgrid discussion topics like activities, whereas a group is more like a class. Then lastly, we have the share the join code. So that's just how students will be able to join your Flipgrid class or your Flipgrid discussion topic so that they can get started. But we'll cover that one more in depth in a little bit. So what I'm going to want to do first is I'm going to click this button that says create a group. So now to create a group, we're going to need to add students into our class. So I'll click the next button, and you'll see that I have some options here. So at the very top, I have the choice to actually change the cover image. So if I click on this here, you'll see that Flipgrid has these really fun cover images that I can choose from. Let's say I want to choose this one right here. This one's kind of fun and funky. You can also click on nature, people, textures, or you can upload your own image as well. So if you click on this use my own image, that's a cover photo that you can add. That's actually something that's saved on your physical computer. But for me as a teacher, I like to just choose one of these ones that Flipgrid has created for me. So now I'll click on this update cover image, and you'll see that my class or my group in Flipgrid now has its own unique cover image. Now what I can do is I can add a group name. So I might title mine STEM class, since you guys know I'm a STEM teacher. And then under group status, you have 2 choices, active or hidden. My group right now is active, which means that students are able to respond to and comment on topics in my group. So since I'm wanting to use this with my students right now, I'm going to want to make sure that my group status is active. Next, it's time to add students to our class. So there's 3 different ways that you can add students to your Flipgrid. First, you can add their email addresses. So if your students have email addresses, that would be a really quick and easy way to add them to your Flipgrid class or your Flipgrid group. In the middle here, you can create usernames for your students. So if you're an elementary school teacher like myself, your students might not have email addresses, and so adding student usernames is a really quick and simple way to get students logged into your Flipgrid group. Then lastly, I love this option probably the most. If you are a user of Google Classroom, Flipgrid makes it really easy for you to connect your Google Classroom to Flipgrid. So you can just click on this button here and it will actually import students from Google Classroom into your Flipgrid group. I'm going to do student usernames just for today's example. So maybe I'll say EdTech Student 1, and maybe I'll do their username as EdTech 1. Next, I'll add EdTech Student 2, username EdTech 2. And then lastly, I'll add EdTech Student 3, and their username will be EdTech3. So you get the point. You can basically just upload student usernames one by one, or if you have a CSV file saved on your computer, that would typically be a class list that you have saved, you can upload that here, which would make it easy for you to import student usernames very quickly. All right, now if we scroll down below, you'll see that there's also some notification options for your group. So basically what this means is that as the teacher, you can choose to get updated about new responses and comments, either daily, weekly, every new video and comment, or never. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and select daily since that's the option that's already on here for me, but that choice really is up to you as the teacher. However frequently you would like to get notifications about when students have added new posts or new comments. Then here, there's also the option to notify students. So if you would like for students to get email notifications for new responses and comments, you'll want to turn this option on. For me as the teacher, I don't want to overwhelm my students with emails, so I'm going to keep this off, but you guys know your students and your classroom needs better than I do, so that choice is really up to you. So now that I've set up my class, you'll see again, I have given my class a cover image, I've given my class a name, I've made sure that the status is active, I imported students, I did the student username option, you can choose between email or Google Classroom. I've set up my notifications, and now I'm ready to go. I'm ready to create my Flipgrid group. To do this, I'll just click on the button that says Create Group. Now my group is ready to go. So this group, this unique number here, is associated with my Flipgrid class or my Flipgrid group. So I can copy this link and I can share it with my students. I can either create a QR code for them to scan in my classroom. I could share this with students through Google Classroom, through Microsoft Teams. It's really up to you however you would like to share this group with your students. But this link here is going to be really important because that's how students will be able to access your Flipgrid. So I could copy this if I wanted and share it with students in a variety of different ways. So now we are looking at the teacher perspective of my Flipgrid class. So you'll see that this is my group or my Flipgrid class. By the way, you've probably started to notice this by now, but I am going to use group and class interchangeably throughout this video, just because that's how it makes sense in my mind as a teacher, that a class is also the same thing as a group. So at the very top here, you'll see that I have the option to add a co-pilot. A co-pilot in Flipgrid is essentially a co-teacher. So if you have a teaching partner, you'd want to click on this button here to add them to your Flipgrid so that they can also be a teacher within your Flipgrid group. Now let's scroll down here and you'll see that we have topics. If you remember from earlier, I said that topics in Flipgrid are the same thing as activities. So the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to create an activity in Flipgrid, or you'll want to create a topic. So to create a topic, I'm going to press this button here that says Create a Topic. And now you'll see that I am prompted to start adding details for my Flipgrid activity. The first thing you'll want to do is you're going to want to add a title. So this is going to be the title of your Flipgrid topic. So I might add something like Peaks and Valleys. Then next it's time for us to add a prompt. A prompt is essentially like directions. So I might want to include something like record yourself sharing a peak and valley of your week. A peak is a highlight, a valley is a low point. Once you have recorded, submit your video and comment on 2 classmates' posts, for example. So my directions here again, I'm going to have my students record a video. They're going to share a peak and a valley of their week. Once they submit their video, then they'll be able to comment on 2 classmates' posts. So next here we can add a media resource. Flipgrid is awesome because it has the ability to work with a variety of other tools that are out there. So you can add multimedia elements to your Flipgrid topic. So for example, as the teacher, you could record a video where you actually model this for students. So I could actually record myself saying the directions, and then I could also record a video where I'm modeling what I want their responses to look like. So that's one reason why you might want to use this record a video option. You could also add a YouTube link or a Vimeo link. So for example, if you want students to watch a quick video and then share a reflection, you would want to add this media here, and then students could watch that video and then provide a video response with their thoughts. There's also some more choices. You can add an image, you can add a GIF, you can add emojis, you can add a link that's from Google Docs to your Google Drive. So if you click on that, you can insert a file link. You can upload a Kahoot link, Wakelet, Nearpod. So again, there's tons and tons of options for you to choose from. For the purpose of today's video, I'm going to add a GIF just because it's simple and easy. But again, there's lots of other ed tech tools that Flipgrid works with really nicely. So here I'm going to look up, let's say maybe mountain, since we're doing peaks and valleys. And I think that one's pretty cool, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. And you'll see that with this activity, students are just going to have this nice GIF of a mountain that they can look at while they're creating their response. Now I want to scroll down. So here you have the option to add a guest password. This is if you want families or maybe admin or other guests to actually be able to view your topic. For me personally, as a teacher, I'm going to leave this off because I only want my students to be able to access this activity. However, if you do want to share this activity with others, you can turn this on and add a password. Next, we have some other essentials. First, we have topic moderation. What this means is that only video responses and comments that you've approved are going to be shared with the rest of the class. So this one is really up to you and based on the needs of your classroom and your students. Personally, I like to leave my videos moderated. The reason for this being that I don't want other students in the class to see my students' work until I have actually approved it. Basically, if you don't want something to come through that you haven't approved, you're going to want to make sure that you turn this on. Now, there's a variety of reasons why you might want this to be off. If you're wanting it to be just a really quick activity where students post their work in class and they can all see each other's as soon as it's uploaded, that's one reason why you might want this to be off. Next, we have comments. So for this one, if you want students to be able to add comments on each other's responses, you're going to want to click on this option and either choose video and text, video, or text only. Video and text means that students are able to leave both video and text comments on each other's work. This one here, video comments only, means students are able to only leave video comments. And then this one is that students are only able to leave text comments. If you don't want students to be able to comment on each other's videos, you're going to want to press this option here that says none. For the purpose of today's video, I'm choosing none, but like I said, this is really up to what you want out of the activity or out of this topic with your students. Next, we have the recording time. So Flipgrid gives you a bunch of options and times that you can choose from. This recording time, right now, it's selected on 1 minute and 30 seconds. That means that students have 1 minute and 30 seconds in their Flipgrid video. So they're allotted 1 minute and 30 seconds to actually provide their response to you as the teacher. This can be as short as 15 seconds and can go all the way up to 10 minutes. This really depends on the type of activity that you're doing with your students. If you're wanting them to record themselves giving a speech or maybe doing some sort of monologue, you might want this to be a little bit longer, versus a short reflection prompt like mine can probably be done easily in under 45 seconds. Next, you can also add closed captioning. This is really great for accessibility reasons. If you would like to turn this on, you can go ahead and select your language. And now you'll see that we are pretty much set up. So I've added my title, I've added my prompt, I've added my multimedia here. I've chosen to not include a guest password, and I've also set up moderation, comments, recording time, and closed captioning. The last thing I want to point out before we create this topic is that you do have the choice to click on more options here, to add additional attachments, to change notifications. There's a lot of other things here that you as the teacher can go through if you would like to. For me, I don't find it to be super important for what I'm trying to do. And so now what I'm going to do, the last thing is you can choose to save these settings as your default settings. if you would like. Now, this is up to you. For me as the teacher, I like to use Flipgrid in a variety of different ways, so I don't have this set up as my default settings. But if you would like to, so for example, if you never want students to be able to comment, you might want to set that up as your default settings so that you don't have to change it every single time. Now that I'm ready to go, I'm going to want to go ahead and press on this button here that says Create Topic, and you'll see that my topic is ready to go. Now, this specific link here is different from the Flipgrid group link. This is a specific topic link. So what this means is that I can copy and share this link to invite students to respond to my topic. So I have the choice. If you're teaching in person and you want to do this activity live with students, you could share this with them on the board as a QR code and they can scan it and join this topic immediately. You could share this with students through Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, etc. You can also just copy this link and share it with students through your learning management system or however you normally have students join an activity or do an activity. Now that I'm ready to go, I'll press All Set, and you'll see that my activity is created here. So down here below, once students start creating their responses, you're going to start to see them populate here. Right now we have 0 responses because 0 students have filled this out. If you want to join in on the discussion, you can record a response, and there's also a share topic button again for you to be able to share this with students. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at the student perspective so you can better understand what students are actually looking at when they're responding to their Flipgrid activity. So up here, I'm going to click on View as Student just so you can see this from the student perspective. So right now what I can do is I can type in my username. So I am going to pretend to be EdTech1 here. Then I will press Go. And so now you'll see that this is the student perspective, right? So it says peaks and valleys. Record yourself sharing a peak and a valley of your week. A peak is a highlight, a valley is a low point. Once you have recorded, submit your video and comment on 2 classmates' posts. So when you are ready as the student, you can go ahead and click on this big record button to begin recording your video. So I'll click on it, allow Flipgrid to use my camera, and you'll see that I am now here on the screen and I can begin recording when I'm ready. A few things that are important for students to look at when they begin creating their Flipgrid responses. So first up here, you'll see that there's a little sticky note. Sticky notes are really helpful for students if they want to have some notes that they can look at when they're recording their video. Sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating for students to be recording themselves and seeing themselves on camera. So it's helpful to have a sticky note as an aid while you're creating your video. So for example, I might write peak is that it's almost summertime. That's a nice reminder for myself. And a valley is that I am going to miss my class. All right, so I've added some notes for myself so that when I'm recording my video, I'll remember what my peak and valley are, and I can use that as a reference point. Down here, there's some options. So if you want, you can upload a clip. So let's say you have a video clip that's already saved, you can do that here. If you just want to use your microphone, you can choose this and you'll see it gets rid of your face option. If you want to have your video mirrored, you can do that by clicking on Mirror Video. You'll see that I switch back and forth as I click that button. If you want to stay muted, you can do that by clicking Mute. If you want to record your screen, you can do that by clicking on Record Screen. This is really great if you want students to be teaching a concept. And then also some device settings here. Then lastly, another thing I want to point out before we start recording is effects. So Flipgrid is really fun because it has these cool effects that you can add fun stickers, you can put a costume on yourself, so it makes it just more fun and engaging for students. So let's say I want to choose a fun filter. I can change this, put a filter on myself that's pretty fun. Let's say I want to choose this rainbow one. I can go back and I can also add some text. If I wanted to have a text overlay, let's say I wanted to say my peak and valley. I can click and move this around. I can even resize it. Let's go back to effects. Let's say I want to teach a concept on a whiteboard. I could do that by clicking on this board button. If I want to add some stickers, I can do that as well. So let's say I want to add this fun pizza sticker. I can do that. So there's a lot of things that students can look through here to add to their videos. Now that I am ready to go and I'm ready to begin filming, I can go ahead and press this button right here to start recording. Today I'm going to be talking about my peak and valley of the week. My peak is that it's almost summertime and summer is my favorite season. My valley is that as we approach the end of the school year, I'm feeling a little bit sad and I know that I'm really going to miss my class this summer. So now that I'm done, I just press the pause button. If I want to add more, if I realized I forgot something, I can do that by clicking this button again. Thank you so much for watching my video. Hopefully you get the point. That was a little awkward. And so now I can go ahead and press the next button. Today I'm going to be talking about my peak and valley of the week. My peak is that it's almost summertime and summer is my favorite season. My valley is that as we approach the end of the school year, I'm feeling a little bit sad and I know that I'm really going to miss my class this summer. Thank you so much for watching my video. Today I'm going to be once students are ready, they can go ahead and press the next button. You do have the ability to edit if you would like to change this around, if you want to add more, you can do that. But I like my video, I think it's good to go, so I'm going to go ahead and press next. And so now first it has my display name. So for the display name, that's just going to be the student's name. So mine is EdTech Student 1, so I'll go ahead and just change the S to 1 just so you guys can better visualize what that looks like. But it does auto-populate for students with their first name and last initial. And then here you can also add a description or a link if you would like. Here you can also choose what this cover image looks like. This one looks a little silly. I have this very still face here, so if I wanted, I could choose another frame within this video to be the image that students can see. Let's say I want to find one where I'm kind of smiling. That looks pretty good. I can press confirm. Or students also have the choice to take a selfie or upload a photo. So let's say I want to take a selfie. I can just smile. Then I can press confirm. And so now I've added this fun selfie as the cover image for my video. Once students are ready to go, they can press the submit button, and now it's uploading to Flipgrid. So it just takes a couple seconds to upload. So now you'll see that my video has successfully been uploaded and my teacher can then watch this video and provide me with some feedback. I'll press the done button. And now you'll notice that this video, you can't see it here. That's because I'm still logged in as a student and my teacher hasn't approved the video. So you'll see here it says your video will be hidden until it's approved by your educator. But if I switch back to the teacher perspective, you'll see that I can see EdTech Student 1's work here. So if I click on this, I can watch it. I'm going to be talking about my peak and valley of the week. My peak is... And then once I'm ready, I can choose to add a comment. So I can either make this public, meaning that the entire group can see, or I can make this private, meaning that only me and the student can see. So if I would like to make this a private comment, I can do that and say, great work. Of course, you can add more meaningful feedback than just that, but hopefully that gives you an idea on how you can provide feedback to your students. So now, if I want the whole class to be able to see this video, I can click on hidden and change it to be active. So now other students in the class will be able to watch this video within this specific peaks and valleys topic. So if we go back to the student perspective just one more time, you'll see that now as the student I can see this work because my teacher has approved it. This was very much a beginner's tutorial to Flipgrid. So I walked you through how to create an account. I showed you how you can set up a group or a class in Flipgrid. I showed you how to create a topic and how to assign that topic to students. I also showed you what the student perspective looks like, so I submitted a response as a student. And then lastly, I showed you how to provide feedback. Again, this was very much a beginner's tutorial. There are so many really cool features in Flipgrid, so I highly recommend that you play around with the tool. Hopefully this was helpful in helping you get started, and you can then use that knowledge to do some really neat things in your classroom. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found this Flipgrid tutorial to be helpful. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and I'll see you back here soon. Bye, friends.